Okay, let's just jump right into it because we're talking about a full-blown communication crisis. And no, I'm not exaggerating. This isn't just about learning a few new words. Think of this as your survival guide for 2026. This is for a time, just around the corner, where the generation gap isn't about music or clothes, it's about whether you can even understand what's being said.
So I gotta ask you, and be honest, are you still dropping a sleigh into your chats or comments? Because if you are, you might be, accidentally telling on yourself. You're broadcasting that you might be just a little bit out of the loop.
And yeah, that signal actually has a name now. It's called being an unk. It's basically the 2026 version of being called a boomer. It means you're trying just a little too hard, you sound a bit dated, you're that well-meaning but, let's face it, slightly embarrassing uncle at the party. And really, who wants to be the unk? So how in the world did we get here so fast? Well, what we're seeing is something insiders are calling the Great Meme Reset. It's this feeling of digital whiplash, where the speed of language has just gone into complete overdrive, making it feel almost impossible for anyone to keep up. I mean, just look at this timeline. It shows the acceleration perfectly. It took a solid 4 years for the culture to move on from the millennial idea of girl boss to the Gen Z anthem Slay. But then it only took another 4 years to get to Riz. And now we're looking at just 2 years to get to Aura. The lifespan of slang is shrinking like crazy.
Right, and this isn't just random. The reason Gen Alpha's English is so different is because it wasn't born on the playground or in the school hallways. Nope, it was forged in the fire of the algorithm, right in the social media feed. It comes from these super niche online communities where an inside joke can become a global trend literally overnight, and it completely skips any kind of real-world filter.
And that brings us to our first key term, brain rot. It's this self-aware label for the kind of stuff that fills those feeds. Now, to you or me, it might look totally nonsensical or just weird, but it's all consumed with this deep layer of irony that is absolutely fundamental to how Gen Alpha humor works. So if you hear someone say this, what they're really saying is something like, yeah, the stuff I find funny is super weird, and honestly, you'd only get it if you spend way, way too much time online. It's like a badge of honor for being fluent in the absurdity of the internet. Okay, next up is a big one that's projected for 2026, and it's called aura farming. The easiest way to think about it is like the next step in personal branding. It's not just about posting a good photo. It's about consciously building your entire vibe, your aura, with every single thing you do online. See, so posting a great outfit picture isn't just about getting likes anymore. The real goal is to add to your overall aura. You're literally farming positive energy and social status. It's a very calculated move to build up your digital presence.
Okay, so why does any of this actually matter? Well, because this language gap has some really serious real-world consequences. Parents feel totally alienated from their kids. Teachers are struggling to connect in the classroom. And for brands, the stakes are massive. One cringe ad campaign can mean millions and millions of wasted dollars.
But, of course, where there's a problem, technology is right there with a solution. And that solution is the AI translator. You can think of it like a Rosetta Stone in your pocket, but instead of translating French to English, it's translating Gen Alpha to, well, everyone else. And this is where it all clicks. This is the aha moment. On the left, you've got what looks like complete gibberish. But on the right, the AI gives you a perfect, context-aware translation. It doesn't just define the words, it understands the feeling, the vibe, the entire message behind them. It's the difference between total confusion and crystal clarity. And that is the absolute key here. This isn't a dictionary, it's a context engine. A dictionary can tell you what aura means, sure, but it can't explain the vibe of aura farming. These new AI tools get the nuance, the irony, the culture, all the stuff a static list of words could never capture. So how do you actually use this stuff to escape what we're calling the cringe zone? This part's for the parents, the marketers, for anyone who's just desperate to connect without sounding like, well, an unk. For businesses, the cost of getting it wrong, the cost of cringe, is just astronomical. We are talking millions of dollars in potential losses from one single campaign that misses the mark. Gen Alpha can spot an inauthentic advertiser from a mile away, and trust me, they are not forgiving. The good news is the workflow is actually super simple. You start with your normal, kind of boring corporate copy. Then the AI chews on it,
not just for the words, but for the underlying context and the vibe you're trying to achieve. And what comes out the other side is authentic, natural, cringe-free language that actually connects.
So, let's zoom out. What does this all mean for the future of how we talk to each other? Because this is so much bigger than just figuring out memes. This tech points to a really fundamental shift in human communication itself. And the consensus from experts is pretty clear. This is not going to be some niche app you have to download. Within just a few years, by 2028, this kind of context-aware translation will probably be a standard feature on every single smartphone, built right into the operating system. And that leaves us with a fascinating, kind of mind-bending question to chew on. As these tools get better and better, when an AI can perfectly translate not just our words, but our humor, our vibe, our feelings, who's actually doing the talking? Is it us, or is it the algorithm?